What's going on, everybody? Generate Talent. I'm back again. Today we're going to be talking about 4 sells prior to the rookie draft. Rookie draft is about a week away at this point. And just some players that either could get dealt or their position could significantly get worse. And I don't want you guys to be stuck in that predicament at that point. So where we're at, who we're going to start with is actually going to be Tyler Shough. And Tyler Shough, throughout the year last year, I was impressed in certain moments, and then I just started listening to content creators hype him up even more and more, and they're like, we love Tyler Shough, and I started saying it myself, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, I really don't love Tyler Shough. I don't think that this guy's going to be holding this position down longer than this year, if that's even the case. I don't think he's the next coming for New Orleans, especially with a quarterback-heavy draft. So at 26 years old, he's about to be 27, about a month into the season. You're talking about investing in someone that's already entering their prime or should be in their prime years. New Orleans offense, which I don't know if they're really ready to start cooking. Olave had a great year, but he has concussion concerns. They'll probably draft a receiver. Usually takes a little bit of time for that to come into fruition. Travis Etienne, or Etienne, as we formerly knew him, now running the ball for the Saints. But is their season going to be that much better? Is Tyler Shough going to be someone we like in this E tier amongst other quarterbacks in there like Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold? And I'm just not there. I don't see the longevity of his position. I don't think he was that much better than Spencer Rattler. Call me crazy. And with Tyler Shough, I just think this is a good time to get out. People, they're believers. He's quarterback 21 on Flock Fantasy's list. And for me, if you're buying a one-year player, that you could do better than Tyler Shough. And if you believe in a future, I hope you're in my league, because I would sell off my couple of Shough shares that I have. I'm actually shucking some Shoughs right now. Get him off my team. He's got to go. Okay, Tyler Shough, not believing in more than the one-year vision. And even with that 1 year, I've mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if they call Derek Carr when Shough starts struggling. And they're like, hey, buddy, we still own your rights. We know you want to play for a contender. We're not that, but come on board. Let's see what you could do. So that first one is Tyler Shough on my sell list. My second person on my sell list is going to be Baker Mayfield, and that's not a popular choice for a lot of people. I actually love Baker Mayfield, but in terms of where we're at in fantasy, he's 31 years old. He didn't have a great year last year. There's a lot of questions with that. His offense has taken a hit losing Mike Evans. Now Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Tez Johnson, I think his name is. These guys step into the offense and have to carry the load, and I just don't know if they're ready for that. Egbuka's entering his second year. McMillan just had neck surgery last year. He's fresh off that. I do love Jalen McMillan, but for the tools for Baker Mayfield, they've taken a hit, and Chris Godwin's in there too, health willing, right? But as you get older, I don't see that health getting better. He could provide a nice number one experience, so I don't know. I'd probably be out on Egbuka if you're buying him at a number one receiver too, because I do think if Godwin's healthy, he's going to be getting the lion's share of the targets. I know that's tough to hear. Baker Mayfield finished at quarterback number 12 last year, which would be a QB1, right? If you're in a 12-team league, he's the backside of a QB1. I think his offense has gotten worse. Zach Robinson moved over there, who was the Falcons OC. He said some positive things. He was quoted as saying Bucky Irving reminds him of Bijan, which I think he's probably drunk, because I have never made that comparison in my life. But here we are. So we have Baker in 2024. He threw 41 touchdowns. I think that's a super anomaly. As we look at his career, he pretty much averages in maybe the 23 to 25 touchdown range. So 2024, you should have sold Baker at that point. 365 fantasy points, finished at QB4. His highest finish since that, even prior to that, was QB10. Last year, QB12, and I think it just digresses from here. I don't think Tampa Bay is no longer that threat on offense where they're going to be cooking like that. Cade Otton's their number one tight end. At this point, we could see Kenyon Sadiq enter this offense. But again, tight ends take time. I know we've been getting spoiled by tight ends succeeding right away. And with the 63% completion percentage for Baker Mayfield, I think the injuries are starting to wear on him. We saw this in Cleveland a little bit. Now we're seeing it resurface in Tampa. I hope it's not the case, but I'm out on Baker Mayfield. I'm letting someone else deal with the imperfections that are ahead. And I think the injury history is going to resurface here as well with a bunch of young receivers, a young group. I don't think they're ready to make that next step. I don't think Zach Robinson and Reese are going to do anything special with this offense. So I'm out on the offense for the most part. I'm trying to get Jalen McMillan. But everyone else, I'm just not impressed with the Tampa offense. I don't think Baker's going to take the next step. He kind of blew his wad in 24. I don't think he sees that again. I think you could see maybe QB 15 at this point, which is not the value you'd be paying for him. So we're taking a value dip there, and I'm just out on Mayfield at that price. Coming up to receiver, you guys know I'm buying a lot of Travis Hunter, and it would only be right to throw BTJ in this for the sell video. Brian Thomas Jr., first year, we know, great receiver. Second year, terrible. So where is he? Probably somewhere in the middle. He had his success with Mac Jones, who's the backup quarterback of San Francisco. He hasn't succeeded much with Trevor Lawrence behind center. Well, Trevor Lawrence is the franchise quarterback. Okay, so if you don't work with Trevor Lawrence, it's not going to go well for you. I think he's on the block. I think all this Travis Hunter talk is to kind of commit to him playing defense like they're keeping Brian Thomas Jr., but I think this is a way to sell him. Okay, saying that he is their number one receiver over and over and over, and then, he gets dealt at the draft. Brian Thomas Jr. had 9.9 fantasy points a game last year, which was just abysmal. That's 42nd in receiving. Okay, this guy wasn't even a number one in college. He was a number two option at LSU. LSU is receiver U, right? Debatably with Ohio State. But he averaged not even 3.5 catches last year, and averaged about 50 receiving yards and a touchdown in almost 1 out of every 10 games. This is not sustainable. We know Brian Thomas is probably better than this, but once I saw him pull his hands back over the middle, looking like T-Rex, I can't invest in him anymore. He looks shook. He looks like Brad Lidge after he gave up the home run to Albert Pujols in the World Series. When he came back, the game just changed on him, and he couldn't adjust. And not saying that that's going to happen to Brian Thomas Jr., but rated right now as a top 20 receiver after what I saw last year and wide receiver 42, I'm just not buying that he is that guy. And I do think he's going to get dealt. I'm also hoping he gets dealt. So if he gets dealt, what are the odds he becomes a number one receiver where he goes? Probably not that good either. So we're looking at probably a number two receiver, maybe in a decent to bad offense. So kind of scary. With Brian Thomas Jr., I'm not going to be the one investing. I think his value could only go down. If he has a good couple games early on, I'd suggest selling. I don't think he's that guy. Wasn't the first receiver drafted in his draft class. I'm out on Brian Thomas Jr. The last guy I know a lot of people are going to be really upset about, but this is the decoy, DJ Moore. And I call him Decoy Moore just because the Bears used him as a decoy a majority of last season, late in the year. He caught that one walk-off against the Packers. But outside of that, it's Decoy Moore, man. DJ Moore. So why are we hyping him up that he's going to Buffalo and things are going to change? Yeah, we know Buffalo's a great offense, yes. Have they ever had a number one receiver? Yeah, Stephon Diggs. After that, it was kind of just guys passing the baton. DJ Moore was out there for 85% of snaps with the Bears, so he was pretty much in there all the time. Still only finished 35th at the receiver position. So I get why we get a little hype kick sending him to the Bills, but the Bills have never really supported a number one receiver. That ball is distributed all around the field, and if Dalton Kincaid's healthy, you know he's one of my favorites. I've been trying to get him all off season. People love him too. There just aren't a lot of targets for a number one receiver here in Buffalo. Josh Allen puts it on the ground. James Cook puts it on the ground. There are a lot of little pieces. They have to make a move first off too. You paid Josh Palmer. Keon Coleman, what's the deal? Are we holding out there? DJ Moore's now in the mix. We saw a couple sparks. You still have Khalil Shakir. You have Shavers. That's 5 deep in the PT Cruiser. It's too many, man. And I don't really understand why they got DJ Moore. I don't think he's going to change the offense. I think he's a little fancy version of Brandon Cooks from last year. So, yeah, he maybe sparks a little bit. But in terms of putting him at, let's see, where they have him at here. putting him at receiver 29, I think, is rich. That's going to be in your like a wide receiver, 3? I think it's rich. I know he's going to be the number one option, but is he really? I think Kincaid's probably the number one option. DJ Moore averaged less than 3 receptions a game, so you're not killing it in PPR. He averaged 40 yards a game, which is super depressing. He did score a touchdown in 1 out of every 3 games, which I guess is cool. Buffalo's high-powered offense, there's a chance for him to get a little touchdown boost there. But outside of that, not a lot to look forward to DJ Moore. He's about to be a 30-year-old receiver, and we know what happens at 30. There's just a significant drop-off. Okay. Also, in the first half of the season, DJ Moore looks super subpar. Never top 12 points, fantasy points, until week 9, where he started to bang out 4 20-plus point games in the last 9 games of the season. But when he didn't bang out those 20-point games, he had 3 points, 4 points, 0, 1, 2. So this is a boom-bust receiver. This is maybe for best ball, but there's no way I'm going to be paying him as a wide receiver 29 to carry my offense when there are just that many bust weeks. You can't go through it. I can't depend on him. I don't even know what would be the difference of getting Keon Coleman versus DJ Moore. Is DJ Moore going to score more than Keon Coleman? Is he going to be more useful? I mean, I just don't see DJ Moore like everyone sees him. He's decoy Moore to me. DJ Moore, I don't get the hype. I get the landing spot is exciting, but he's just not that good anymore. And Buffalo has never really fed that number one since Stephon Diggs left. DJ Moore is not of that ilk. If A.J. Brown went to Buffalo, I'm showing support, I'm showing love. But DJ Moore, I don't think is anywhere near that number one receiver anymore. And I think he's just a good, solid number 2, which I think he'll be in Buffalo. Buffalo's going to make another move, I would think, as they kind of clear out their receiver room and maybe just get more strength in there rather than a whole bunch of mid guys. But that's my sell video. That's 4 players. That's Tyler Shuck. That's Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry to shit on the South while wearing a Panthers hat. And then the receivers in DJ Moore and Brian Thomas Jr. Tell me what you think in the comments. I know I probably ruffled some feathers. Those are players that people like. But for me, their value is too high right now, and I can't afford to pay their value based on what I think can happen with their season and what they're set up for. So thanks for watching. It's been Generate Talent. 4 sells. Enjoy. Peace.